seeing Spyderco make some of those changes and make some of those innovations and coming up with new varieties of classic knives is exciting. So I would love to see, maybe they'll do this with a Caracara, maybe a Caracara 3 at some point. Hey guys, welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to my review of the Byrd Raven 2 from Spyderco. Yeah, it's sort of a Spyderco and Byrd knife, as you guys probably know if you've heard of the Byrd line from Spyderco. It's sort of a Chinese-made, slightly more cheaply produced Spyderco knives that are still very good quality and really interesting as far as design is concerned. And so there's lots to talk about with this Raven 2, as well as one of the other new Byrd knives. So we're going to roll that one here in just a minute. But of course, we're also going to look at a good variety of other knives that compete against the Raven 2. We're going to look at some testing of this knife, paper, wood, cardboard, etc., and talk about the specs, talk about my experience with it, why I like it so much, and all that. And you are watching part 2, the second review of my Knife Blitz for 2015, sort of my Thanksgiving thank you to my viewers, and you can win a $25 gift card to Blade HQ. Comment down below in this video and the other 3, there's going to be 4 altogether, Knife Blitz videos, and one of you guys are going to win $25 to Blade HQ. So thank you all for tuning in, for being my loyal knife addicted audience. I really appreciate it. You know what? I love posting knife reviews. I love doing knife reviews and collecting knives. Having an audience that digs it too is awesome. I love it. So let's get into this knife and start talking about it. Let's first talk about some of my experience in testing it. The paper cut test, cardboard and wood carving, of course. The edge was really sharp, very, very fine. It reminds me somewhat of VG10. It is not VG10, it is CTS BD1 steel. And I do not have another BD1 knife here on the table. I don't know why. Where did I put my Spyderco Manix 2 in BD1? I don't know. But I've got, or do I? I don't think I have any other BD1. Nah, forget it. Anyways. Yeah, anyway, it's great steel. And it seems to be, I don't think it's related necessarily, but it feels like it's got characteristics that are similar to VG10. I could be way off on that, but just in my experience using it, it feels like it, it's comparable to it. I could definitely see that this knife had an edge that was fantastic. Restoring that edge, also pretty easy, and that's great. So use this knife lots prior to the cut test, use it plenty afterwards, and again, I probably sharpened it 2 or 3 times since I've owned it. Restoring that edge is no big deal. BD1 steel is, oh my gosh, that is ridiculously sharp right now. Whew. Yeah, it takes a fantastic edge and restores to it very well, like I said. The cardboard cut test, I seem to have lost that footage. I don't know how that happens, but I did. Anyway, I couldn't find the cardboard cut test footage. I can tell you a little bit about my experience with it, though. It went fast. It was easy. I don't remember any hang-ups or any issues with this knife in slicing through that. It has a full flat ground blade on it. Like I said, flat ground, so that is not hollow ground at all, as the other sort of equivalent would be. And the blade stock is really thick. This is definitely worth pointing out. It has a blade thickness of 0.15 inches, which when you get that in hand is like, it's kind of surprising. You see that and you're like, oh my goodness, that's actually thicker than I anticipated it would be. So again, without referring to, let's go ahead and refer to something else. Why not? Here's the Sage 1 from Spyderco. We set the 2 next to each other, and you can see that the Byrd Raven 2 is indeed considerably thicker. So I don't know what the width is on the Spyderco right there, but the Raven is obviously quite a bit thicker. So you've got a nice tough blade on that, blade steel on that, both the steel and the stock. And that's really, really nice because this is a worker knife. It works great. So again, the cardboard cut test went great. Wood carving, let's get to that, show you some of that. I'm excited for that. Man, great edge and geometry of the grind. I mean, it just dug in fast and easy and tore some good chips off of that slice or that chunk of wood. I felt like it was comfortable in hand. It didn't give me any really ergonomic issues as I was plowing through that. I felt, because maybe that sort of choil that I have up here where my finger can go, if you choke back on that, you've got all this space where you're away from the edge of the beginning of the cutting edge. And so you've got all that clearance from your material, which makes it much more comfortable, much more easy to do the cutting. So that added definitely to the ergonomics of it. So I had good control over it, but it was also really comfortable in hand, being a little bit removed from the cutting edge. It was just an awesome slicer. It came razor sharp from the factory. And again, restoring it was easy. This is a kind of knife that is not scared of getting work done. And what's the price on something like this? 47 bucks, 48 bucks. Not too bad for what you're getting. G10, obviously, it's made in China, but BD1 steel on it is a great steel. The Raven it carries all the same sort of vectors as the original Raven, as far as just the outline of the blade and the handle. It's all the same, but they've changed a lot about it, obviously. I think the previous variety had aluminum scales instead of G10. It was not full flat ground like this one is. It was still a good looking knife, but this is better looking, and I think in many ways a better performer. The other one I think also had 8CR13 MOV steel. So vast improvements over the previous version, and just a great performer in all the tests I did. Let's bring out one more Byrd knife that I want to compare it against. This is the Byrd Crow. A long time ago I reviewed the Byrd Crow. Those of you who have been with my channel for 4 to 5 years might have seen that video. The rest of you probably don't know it or haven't seen it. You can dig it up if you want to. But this is that knife. This is the other Byrd knife. But this is the Crow 2. So again, all the changes they made to the Raven, they carried over to the Crow 2. So it's got the same G10. It's got the same grind. And same steel as well. BD1 steel. It's also made in China. But also bearing Sal Glesser's signature right there. You see it? Yeah, you can see it there. And you can see it there as well. So I would say they've signed these knives because they're proud of them, and they've got something to be proud of here. Other Byrd knives in the past, I like Byrd knives for the most part. We can look at one more, just a slip joint Byrd knife. This is the Tern. That's right, T-E-R-N. I like this knife a lot just for its simplicity. G10 handle scales with no other support in there, no liners. And it's just a non-locking knife. Really cool and buries really deep. So it's kind of, that knife for restricted areas that you might live in where you can't have a locking knife or something like that. But it's also just a cool one. So there's, like I said before, I like Byrd knives. I think they've released some really, really cool designs. And seeing them update these designs is really exciting to me. So there's the Crow. Again, it has the same blade thickness as the Raven, if I'm not mistaken, that 0.15 inch blade thickness. Amazing. Again, when you get it in hand, it looks so much thicker. But there it is. So let's compare it against a handful of other great knives in the same price range and other price ranges. This one, again, under $50. So what else could we get for under $50 that would be comparable to a Byrd Raven? Oh gosh, what else do I have here on the table that would work well for this? Perhaps this one. I think this is closer to the $50 range. That's the Recon 1, the Mini Recon 1 from Cold Steel, AOS 8A steel, I think, on that. Really, really tough, extremely aggressive G10. Really cool knife, smaller by a fair bit, but gets a lot of the same kind of hard work done. What else have I got here? Oh, maybe this one, CRKT Hootenanny. Also a great knife, 8CR13 MOV, I think, designed by Ken Onion, the venerable and great Ken Onion. Just a really cool design and just a beautiful looking knife. Price range, I think, is 50-ish, maybe sub 50, I believe. Okay, a little getting higher up there, but here's one. Code 4 from Cold Steel, also a pretty tough knife. I guess we already have one Cold Steel on the table, but what the heck. I want to try to find something else in the same price range. And, if you're lucky, you might find, all we got is CRKT Cold Steel and Spyderco. That's okay. The CRKT Ripple, also a Ken Onion design. But sometimes you'll find that one for under $50 or around $50, depending on who's carrying it. And I think we might end it there. I guess since we already showed you the Sage one, which is nowhere near the same price range at 110, 120, we might as well go ahead and show you that one again. Seeing Spyderco make some of those changes and make some of those innovations and coming up with new varieties of classic knives is exciting. So I would love to see, maybe they'll do this with a Caracara, maybe a Caracara 3 at some point. I don't think I mentioned that you have the pocket clip is reversible, repositionable to all positions. So we're going to get into just a little bit more. It is G10, obviously. Handle length, 4.5 inches. Weight, about around 4 ounces. So is that a good weight for you? I think it's fine, actually. It buries in pocket well, in my opinion. The carry is just great. So comfortable to use and carry. Blade length, 3.5. Cutting length is about 2.875. There's a few other things we could say about it. It is liner lock, as you can tell, and that looks pretty good in there. The lockup has always been perfect throughout all the time I've been using it. Nothing really to complain about. Nothing I would really even change. Good lanyard hole on there. You could slap a lanyard in if you feel it's needed, if you like having lanyards. Gosh, I just, as a part of the collection and just as something that is a great go-to work knife that I'm not too concerned about ruining, breaking, losing, but that will get awesome work done when I have it. This knife just screams yes. It's just an outstanding knife. Like I said before, not scared of work. The Byrd Raven 2, really like it. Stay tuned for more from the Knife Blitz for 2015. I'm the Late Boy Scout. Thanks for watching. We'll see you. All right, next we will look at, this is I think the Titan 2. Look at that. And look, they're pretty much the same size. Yeah, just pretty much identical in size. Oh wait, no, they're not. Okay. The Titan 2 is actually extraordinarily